The following show contains adult content. It's not our intent to offend anyone, but we want to inform you that if you are a child under the age of 18 or get offended easily, this next show may not be for you. The content, opinions, and subject matter of these shows are solely the choice of your show hosts and their guests, and not those of the Entertainment Network or any affiliated stations. Any comments or inquiries should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for listening.
Sitting down and designing, where every man in a thinking, what are we gonna be wearing? Yo, I'm a Liverpool MC, you can't trust me, big up the girls inside the party. Let's get down to crazy Jimmy, big up myself and known as Alfie, the one and only, the Turkish MC.
Always love the clothes of Jimmy.
Bitch, I'm your wanna be, Jimmy Star's new celebrity.
We'll take you out to Jimmy Star's.
Hey ho, what's up everybody? Welcome to the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell, bringing you the good times in music, fashion, pop culture, and entertainment. We got a great show for you guys today. We have Rita Gigante coming on and Joey Belladonna from Anthrax. It's going to be a lot of fun, but before we get started with any of that stuff, let's say hi to my cool, outrageous man about town co-host, Mr. Ron Russell.
I had to get the pillow for Astro because he's scratching at my legs. Come on, turn around, Astro. Nice and fit. Come on, up.
In the meantime,
this dog knows everything. He's so smart. Dogs, look how cute he is. I love this dog. He has to be with me all the time. No matter where I am, he's got to be with me. When we sit at night and watch TV in our big reclining sofa, he sits between my legs. And he just loves me to death. You know, folks, if you're old and alone, adopt a dog.
we love ours.
They're the best pets. They're the best people in the world. They'll never hurt you. They'll never disappoint you. And they'll never backstab you.
That's right. So that's right.
So get yourself a pet, and then you won't come home to an empty house. Also, it gives you a responsibility. You know, when you've raised your children and they're all grown now and on their own, it's empty nest. So isn't it nice to have something or a person or a dog that depends on you, makes you feel good?
So let's say hi to the chat room. What's up, chat room? Hub Reynolds is in there. Julia from Russia is in there. Hey, Hub, what's up? Congratulations on your new home. I think it's in Alabama, but now I forgot.
Who's new home?
Hub.
He moved?
Yeah, he moved. He sold his house and bought another house, and I think he's in Alabama, but I'm not sure.
Alabama. That's where Jimmy's dad came from.
And no, Kentucky.
Oh, same thing. Alabama, Kentucky. It's still the deep old South.
And Cindy Lady Lake is in there. Hey, what's up? She says she loves their dog, too. They have a super dog.
I know. Dog. I love my little Astro. He's my honey bun. He goes with me all over. You know, we're traveling around soon as the strike is over. And I have to find out if I can bring him on the airplane in a little soft cage. You know, a soft one, not a hard one. This I could put on my lap and bring him with us because I really can't leave him alone anywhere I go.
So what's up? Lady Lake is also in the chat room with us. She just joined us. Hello. So you guys, we have a fun show today. Hope everybody had a great...
It's hot. Could you make it colder?
Yes. I hope everybody had a great Father's Day. Where's my phone? Here's my phone. Hope everybody had a great Father's Day.
You know, we have that system where you light up the house from anywhere in the world. And we can also look at our house. If we have the dogs, we could be in China. And we could look at our dogs on our cell phones.
Yeah, we can watch the dogs to make sure they're okay.
Yeah, and also turn lights on and off, air conditioning and heat. It's a wonderful option, and I'm happy that we have it. Now, we have a car in the garage. It's about 110 degrees out. The garage is about 140 degrees. And Jimmy has not learned yet how to turn the air conditioner on the car automatically from the house. So he makes me go out there and sit in that sauna until the car cools.
Actually, that's not true. That's not all true. I do know how to do it.
Well, then why don't you do it?
Because you have to pay for the app, and I'm cheap.
I'll pay for the app. Because when we're going someplace and I sit in that thing, I sweat, and everything gets damp and wrinkled, and I look like a laundry bag.
You never look like a laundry bag.
Yes, I do.
No.
I wear a lot of linen, and linen, wrinkles easily when you perspire. So kindly, I will pay for that app, El Cheapo. He'll buy a friggin' doll to put in his room, another friggin' Cocoa Pop, what are they called?
Oh, Funko Pop.
Funko Pop for his room.
Those
Yeah,
are $10. The app is
Well,
expensive.
How much is the app?
It's like $250.
Oh, good. I hope you have the money for
I'll get it though. I'll get the Mercedes
I think you
app.
should. $250 for that app?
Yeah.
Are they out of their
It's every
minds?
year you got to pay for it. And then it tells you everything. Anytime there's anything going on with the car, it tells you. It sends you little messages and stuff.
Oh, the car, we have that already built in.
Yes. You just got to pay for that.
Okay.
Pay for it.
Another bill. I mean, really. Living, I read somewhere that if you want to live decently, not great, you have to earn $150,000 a year to live in the United States decently. How many people out there earn $150,000?
Not
And
much.
I guess you don't live decently unless you bought your house 50 years ago when it was only $35,000 or $40,000 for a house. But if you're buying a house today, there's no such thing as $700,000 or $800,000 anymore. You get a shack if you go to LA for
You get
$800,000. Doesn't even exist.
You're in the ghetto.
$1 million is a knockdown. $1 million in a crappy neighborhood. I mean, I used to have a good friend of mine, Sue Wong, we'll talk about it, who has a magnificent home, the Cedars, and I love her home. It's a mansion. It's breathtaking. But you go out of her door 1 block, they're peeing in the street, the homeless, the tents, the filth, the disgustingness. I mean, her house, I understand she was going to ask $40 million for. Now you're going to sell a house for $40 million in a neighborhood on Western Avenue in Hollywood, which is the dumps. Doesn't work. So the same thing with other friends of ours. We have friends of ours in New York who have apartments the size of my closet, and they're asking $2 million, $1.5 million. So I think we've gone completely crazy as far as real estate goes and rents. You want to rent an apartment in New York City, in Manhattan, a 2-bedroom apartment, $6,000 and up. We have our friend here, I can't give his name, but he's a famous actor. He and his wife live in Studio City. They pay
Which is in LA.
Which is LA. They pay $6,000 a month rent. And like she said, you go out in the hallway, they're smoking pot, they're disgusting. The people are like lowlifes, and you pay $6,000 a month rent. So I think we need a new thinking. I think we need a president, Democrat or Republican, I don't care who he is, who thinks for the working class people, not socialism, not communism. We don't have to go that far, but we can get rid of the greedy landlords and the greedy realtors, because the realtors come in your house and they say, oh, I can get you 8, I can get you 9, I can get you 1 million. And the people believe it. So it's the realtors that make the market go insane. And realtors love it because they're all getting richer and richer, and the people that are buying and renting are getting poorer and poorer.
That all goes, though, by what the market. I mean, if people weren't renting them, they wouldn't be able to get those prices. But since people are renting them.
Well, people are living 50,000 of them in one room. I mean, they have to have. Years ago, a father worked, and he probably made $3,000 to $4,000 a year, clean. He owned a house, a car, and lived on Long Island. And we all dressed well and went to school. Not us exactly, because I lived I didn't live in such a hot neighborhood or great house, but friends of mine did. Like Fran Drescher, she lived in Bayside in Flushing. Now, her parents rented an apartment, and I'm sure it was rent control for a couple of $100 a month. So a lot of celebrities that I know came from a time when it was affordable, when daddy went to work and mommy cooked and cleaned. They don't do that anymore because mommy nowadays is too busy getting high. She's getting high on wine, smoking pot.
Well, mommy's working.
And, well, a lot of them are screwing the guys around the neighborhood because morals have gone to the wayside, and drinking is very chic and in, and smoking pot, of course, is legal. So we've really gone down the tubes, haven't we? We don't have the structure we used to have, where we had a family that ate at the same table every night, dinner. It was a wonderful time, and I miss it terribly. I'm sad that my daughters don't have it today. They had it with me growing up, but now as adults, they don't have it. Enough of that baloney. How did I get on that whole
I have
thing?
no idea.
You know, I rant and I go on and on and on. All old people do that, if you notice. I think it's like we have to teach people. I think that's our thing. When we get old, we want to show you and tell you what it was and how it can be again. But no one listens, because when I was young, I didn't listen to the people from the 1900s, like the Victorian age people. My grandmother in Italy was a Victorian woman, and I lived there for a year, and I couldn't wait to get out of there because I couldn't stand her. She was crazy. I mean, just so Victorian, and I was 1955 modern. You know, we thought differently.
So B. Claudia just joined us from Germany. Hey, B.
Hey,
how
B,
are
how's
you?
your flood?
Hope all is well. And they said they like the colors on me.
What colors? On
I've
you?
got
Oh,
colors.
good. I don't have colors. I'm in brown.
Yes, you're in brown today.
Brown.
All right, everybody. So listen up. Let me do a quick commercial, and then we're going to bring on our first guest.
Yay.
First, we want to thank everybody for tuning in every week. We had a fun show last week. We're going to have a lot of fun today. You can hear our show weekly on SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, iTunes, Spotify, Amazon Music, YouTube, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, TuneIn, Pandora, and Amazon Prime. Obviously, you can watch us and listen to us on YouTube, and our live shows are 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time, 12 to 2 p.m. Pacific Time. And we have our great engineer Juan, who's here with us, and W4CY is a great home station, and we've been on here for about 16 years, and we love it. So we want to thank everybody for tuning in every week. And I think now we'll do is bring on our first guest. See if we can.
Wait, I want to say something. I want to thank all of you out there for making us have how many? A billion? A million?
A billion.
From giving us 1 billion would it be downloads. Thank you so much.
Downloads and streams.
Download what?
Downloads and streams.
What the hell is this? A stream is
when you listen
fish
to it. No, like when you listen to Spotify,
Oh,
you get a stream. That's
streaming.
a stream because
Right,
you don't download it; you listen to it.
Right. Oh, my day of stream is where you caught a fish. But anyway. God.
All right, so everybody, we're going to bring on our first guest, and
Who is?
see if we can hear. Her name is Rita Gigante.
Who?
Rita Gigante. Is that how I pronounce it? Gigante?
That's fine. Some people say it that way. Some people say Gigante.
Gigante.
Oh, this one's up my alley. I love her already. This one, I hear the accent. This one's a New Yorker and Italian.
Yes,
You're
yes.
from Brooklyn, Bronx, or Queens?
Manhattan.
Oh, baloney, Manhattan. Nobody's from Manhattan.
Really?
You were born in Manhattan?
Born in Manhattan.
Where'd you live? Hell's Kitchen, 9th Avenue?
No, Greenwich Village. Sullivan Street, Thompson Street, Bleecker
okay.
Street.
I love the accent. I'm so happy because you know what? They bust my balls all the time with, you have such a New York accent. I say, I do. And I fly back every 6 months so I don't lose it. Who are you out here in California with the, oh, it's real neat. Oh, I saw her. Oh, they all sound like they're having a stroke.
Oh, my God.
People understand us, right? I love you. You're Italian. What kind? So you look like a Napolitan.
Yes, Napolitan.
That's it. I love you more now because I'm part Napolitan.
Hold on.
Who are you?
Wait,
What
I'm
are
gonna do an
you? I love.
introduction.
I love.
All right, everybody. Now we're going to welcome to the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell, author, speaker, teacher, psychic, medium, healer, Rita Gigante. Hello and welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me on, guys. Appreciate it.
So
And
before
gigante in Italian means gigantic, huge. Gigante.
Yes.
And you know what? You look like Susan Plachette, who I knew. So
Really?
oh yeah, you look like, if you had makeup on like she wore, you have the same smile as Susan Plachette. You know who she is?
I don't.
Oh, kill yourself. Susan, were you kidding? Susan Plachette was one of the best actresses we had. You must be very young.
I'm 50,
How
I'm
much?
56.
56, and you don't know who,
I'm 58,
and you don't
so-
know who Susan Plachette is?
I may not. I may know her in something, but not.
I told you I'm going to kill. She had the most beautiful green eyes. She was she was in The Birds with Tippi Hedren. She was the school
Oh, I know
teacher
who
that
she
got
is.
killed.
Now I understand. Yep. I remember now.
Okay, so before we get started, hang on. Before we get started, the first
I'm gay and I'm in love with you.
first thing before we get started is because I got an email from Julian
Yes.
Schlossberg.
Yes,
And
my
Julian said,
sweetheart
make
friend.
sure that you say hello to Rita for me. He says, I love Rita, and I'm producing her play, The Godfather's Daughter, which we'll be talking about in a few minutes because that's the book she wrote.
I
And,
love Julian. He's my new best friend.
So I
Isn't he the greatest?
Oh,
Yeah.
he is like he's like me. I am in such a New York mode. You know, Jimmy and I next year moving back to New York. I've lived in California on and off all my life. I just can't get it. I come out here hoping I can get it right, but I don't. Nobody likes me. They all think I'm too tough. I'm too outspoken. I tell the truth. You know, here it's like, darling, I love you. Let's do lunch. You're fabulous. You're beautiful. You're wonderful. Meanwhile, you're 500 pounds, wrinkled, and as ugly as sin. But they tell you that. It makes me feel good. That's what I hate about California. Everybody loves, I love you to the moon and back. No, don't love me to the moon and back. Like me a little bit. I appreciate that. In New York, if I ever said to you, I love you to the moon and the back, you'd call a psychiatrist. Right? You'd say, Ron, go for help. You need help. I met you 2 minutes ago, and I love you to the moon and back. But that's California. It's all full of shit. Anyway, my darling.
So she is
my guest now.
No, she's not your guest. I
love
her.
She's like me. And
we're married, and we like fight all the time. It's normal. Everybody knows it.
If you were half Jewish, it'd be perfect.
Oh, boy.
Because I'm half Jewish. But you should be perfect. Okay. Anyway, Jesus, you have so many things. We must meet in New York. You're fascinating. You know, we'll be there in October.
So let me tell you a little about her. First of all, she comes from a historic family.
Historic?
Yes, her father was Mafia boss Vincent the Chin Gigante, the leader of the Genovese crime family. And he was head of all 5 New York crime families from 1981 to 2005.
We have to talk.
She wrote a book about it called The Godfather's Daughter, which is an unlikely story of love, healing, and redemption. And something that is also cool is that she's family, because she's actually part of the LGBTQ community.
Oh, she's gay too? I knew I loved you.
You have everything. All the dots.
If we don't become best friends when I move to New York, I'll put a hit on you. I really will. Because you're terrific. Meanwhile, I can't say what I want to say, but I had a family member who went to jail for 2 years.
Okay.
All right. Who is very involved with probably, anyway. We'll talk about it.
We might have another couple of muties.
I know the name. I know the name.
What's the
now
guy?
I know your name.
Do you know Gianni Russo?
No.
Okay, because we had him on the show. And have you ever? Do you know?
Don't give names.
No, Gianni Russo. Everybody knows.
Johnny
he wrote
Russo.
a book. No,
but don't give any of the names that I know.
No, I'm not giving that names. And what about Jack O'Halloran? Have you ever met Jack O'Halloran, the guy who played Non in Superman? Because his father was Albert Anastasia. He's the illegitimate son of Albert Anastasia.
Really?
Yeah, and he's a big actor. Back in the day, he was in King Kong and Superman and all these movies and stuff. But he wrote a book also. Everybody's like, kind of like writing books now that they're getting a little older.
Now, he was your father, right?
Yes.
Like Jack.
Yes.
Yes. So okay. We know, you know who I am. I used to have black hair.
Okay.
No, black hair now.
No, I was never connected. I mean, I just grew up with everybody. I mean,
so let's talk to her about it.
I grew up with everybody.
Okay, so you because I want to touch on a little bit. First of all, we've only had, I think, one other person.
Yeah, I'm from Brooklyn. I'm from Red Hook. Does that give you a clue?
No.
Yes, of course.
I think we've had 2 other people who were like Queen of the Paranormal, Kadrosha Mona Carol, who we actually went on a ghost hunt.
Let's talk about the Mafia.
I know, but she's a psychic too. I want to talk about it.
First of all, Rita is going to agree with me. There's no such thing as the Mafia, right? They made that. They made that name up.
I have no idea what you're talking about. No idea.
Throw the Southern Italians for being that, which is another lie, which I can't deal with. All right, because there's no such thing as them. There are Italian business people who conduct business, and of course, if you screw them, they kill you. But that's okay because that's what they do. But they don't kill. Wait, I got to make a point. They do not kill innocent people, children, or old ladies with baby carriages in the Bronx. All right. They only
Very true.
If you're a squealer, a rat, a dirty dog, if you're a backstabber, or if you try to screw anybody out of money on a take, you're gone.
So
wait, I'm not done.
I know. I want to hear you talk.
I have to warm her up. I'm warming her up because I want her to know that she can say whatever she wants here. That we're not California prudes.
So you wrote a book about your life, and I from what I get, because I did a bunch of research, which you guys can find out more about Rita. It's ritagigante.net is her website, and she's on Instagram under Rita Gigante Psychic. And I read that growing up, you didn't exactly know what your father did until you were like, I think it said 16, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
So you didn't really know, what he did, and
She knew
and you didn't really get to come out, as a lesbian then. So just tell us a little bit about you and the whole story a little bit.
So growing up in my family, and I'm sure you can understand where I'm coming from. If you're a woman in an Italian Catholic family, you were meant to get married, have children, take care of your mother until she passed. And then maybe you could have a life after that, maybe. And I knew at a very young age I was gay. I was, 11 years old. I mean, my family even knew before that. I never liked to wear dresses. I never liked to play with dolls. Like they can tell immediately. But in my family and growing up in that kind of family, you didn't talk about things like that. You really didn't talk about much of anything other than, keep your mouth shut and do what you're told. So, yeah, exactly. Name of the game.
Whatever name you hear in this house, you go in the street and tell her, get beat the shit out of you.
That's it. Exactly. So I was born, I don't know if you guys know what an empath is, but yes. I was born a very sensitive energy. So
explain that to people who don't know, like me.
Right. So an empath is someone who can feel everybody's energy very, very sensitively. So if someone's having a bad day, I could actually feel it and take on that energy if I'm not careful. But being born that way, and in the house that I was in, there was a lot of mixed signals, mixed emotions, so many things going on. My mother always depressed and anxiety ridden because of, worried about my dad and then him having another family, that he had. I'm sorry?
He had a gumara.
Yes. And I have 3 half siblings. So this was hard for her as I was growing up. And I had no idea why she was so upset because, again, that was something that was kept from all of us. Nobody knew. Now, as far as him, I knew he was important. I knew, like, just by watching things. I would be at my grandmother's apartment. Maybe I was 9, 10, 11 years old, and I'm watching him sitting around the dining room table with his friends. And, they're passing notes back and forth to each other. He never, ever spoke on the phone, I think, for 40 years.
What's a rhyme?
We would have.
I love this. I'm going to read your book.
Awesome. He would have the TV on, the radio on, and the phone would be off the hook.
Right.
And these guys would come in, his crew would come in, sit down, and he'd be giving orders just with notes going back and forth and whispers. That was it. And so I would watch this and go, all right, my he's important, but what does he do? I don't understand. What does he do? And I got told at one point, he was sick, of course, and he had a heart issue. Then I got told he worked for a hat company. And then eventually I got told, what they told me was he had paranoid schizophrenia. But that aside, my anxiety was through the roof. I was sick a lot as a child because I was feeling everybody's stuff. I was taking on everybody's stuff, all the emotions, and I just didn't understand what was happening. By the time I reached the age, so my first anxiety attack, I was 5 years old. My first panic attack, I was 7. By the time I hit 10 years old, I had full-blown OCD. But I witnessed something very, very scary at 5 years old. I was underneath my grandmother's dining room table, and nobody knew I was there. And they brought a man into the apartment. Him and his crew brought this man into the apartment, and there was a big, I could hear the voices, not really screaming, but you could hear like the shuffling back and forth, and they were dragging them in. And then all of a sudden, I heard a crack, like somebody get punched, and the guy hit the floor. And he was facing me. I'm underneath the table, and I pulled back. I got like my arms wrapped around my legs, and I'm sweating, dripping sweat, like tears coming down, but realized I can't open up my mouth because I didn't want anybody to know I was there. So my eyes are locked onto this guy's eyes. He's looking at me. He's bleeding profusely. The blood is coming towards me. It's about to like hit my feet almost. And I just see somebody's hand coming down from the table, boom, boom, cracking him. I can't tell you how many times, ripping his face apart. And the only reason why I knew it was my father, because I saw his pinky ring. And the last thing he did was stomp on the man's face. And very quietly, he said to the guy next to him, he said to the guy, don't ever fucking disrespect me again. And then he told the guys in a whisper, get him out of here.
5 years.
That was my first memory that I buried for over 40 years.
And that's really surprising because usually they never do anything like that in the family's house.
Never.
They will take them out to a parking lot or somewhere, beat the shit out of them. But that was very shocking. Your father really was out of hand because he was disrespecting his mother, his grandmother.
Yeah. My mother and my grandmother were not home at the time. They didn't. They were upstairs in the other apartment.
They would not have allowed that.
Never.
They would have said to him, not
I
in
can
my
see
house.
how that could be relatively traumatic.
Absolutely.
Though, at 5 years old, especially since you
Absolutely.
can't say anything about it, so you forgot about it.
But wait a
I
minute.
just buried it.
In defense, because I have to always defend my friends. This is a business thing. I was in the home of a very, very big, one of the biggest important people in Brooklyn. And he was dancing ballet with his granddaughter. Okay. He was the kindest, sweetest man. He said to me, Ron, if ever you're in trouble and anybody hurts you because you're gay, you come and tell me. They won't do it again. So they are kind, decent people. Business, well, whatever she says now and wrote in the book applies to business. I don't think her father would ever do that to her. Did he ever beat the shit out of you?
Never. Would never touch me. Actually, you will see in the book, my book is more about the love, the healing, and the redemption.
Yeah, because
once, I describe him, I describe the stories of what I experienced, but I also describe him as a gentle soul in many ways. He took care of that neighborhood. He had a code of ethics. He was a fair man. He could have ran any corporation he wanted. He just ran one that the government didn't want him to run.
Right.
So, that's the bottom line.
Because he was in competition with the government. I mean, listen, they call Hillary Clinton Killary because they say she's killed over 30 people in her existence in Washington.
38, I think.
38. I mean, I always said, listen, what my Brooklyn friends do is illegal because the people that are doing it made it illegal. But if you go to Washington and you meet some of these liars that are in office today, I mean, look at the Kennedys, how they got there. The father was connected. The father had money. The father got John Kennedy elected. And then John Kennedy went and knocked off Marilyn Monroe. So listen, there's no such thing as those people do it, nobody else. It's done all over the world.
That's right. That's right.
So, in defense of my wonderful friends who I love and adore still, and I look forward to seeing when I go to New York because I love them so much. They're the best people.
Actually,
the kindest people.
We need to introduce you
Wait. And one thing I got to say, because you're going to agree with me. If they say, this is my, I forgot how it goes. There's three ways of saying it. My very good friend, my very dear friend, my very dear friend, my dear, very dear friend. If they say that about you, that means they can trust you.
Right.
And you can trust them. There's no backstabbing like the bitches did here to me in L.A., that other fucking hooer that owns a mansion. I mean, all these people have really come down on me terribly.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry, too. Why? Because I opened my big mouth. I'm honest. I couldn't take their bullshit, and I put them in their place.
Right.
Whereas my friends in New York, they tell you right off, don't do this, don't do that. We don't like this. We don't like, you know where you stand.
Right.
So we need to introduce you to Gianni Russo. So he was in The Godfather, and he dated Marilyn Monroe, and he was he did a whole bunch of stuff for the in real life. He did a bunch of stuff. He wrote a book, but he did a bunch of stuff for the mob.
So he said he was a made man. I don't know if he was really made. I wonder about that. But he said he was made.
Anyway, he's very interesting. He lives in New York City someplace. And where are you in Long Island, or where are you?
I'm in Rockland County. I'm about half hour out from New York City.
Okay, because I also have another friend who when he saw you were coming on the show, he said you did his show back in the day, Johnny P.
Yeah, Johnny.
He's a good friend of mine, and we've been following each other on social media for years. And he's been on our show a bunch of times just because it's fun and we cross promote.
Yeah.
You've had a very interesting life. Let's tell people where they get the book.
Oh, they can get it on my website, ritagigante.net. They could also get it on, if they want, a signed copy of it. And also they can get it on Amazon if they wanted to.
I love it. So you guys, the name of the book is The Godfather's Daughter, An Unlikely Story of Love, Healing, and Redemption. And so basically it looks like, so you said that happened when you were 5 and you repressed it for 40 years, which is 45 and you're 56, I think you said.
Yeah, let's move on.
So, wait.
No.
Let me talk, please. That's 12 years.
You're going in the wrong direction.
No, I'm not going. We're going in time.
You're going to get in trouble.
I'm not going to get in trouble. No, I'm not going to get in trouble. No, I want to know. So basically, like all this stuff came back to you in your 40s.
So when I started to write my book, I was almost, I want to say 3/4 of the way through it. And I then ended up experiencing that flashback.
Okay.
As I was writing. So that's how that came up for me. Yeah.
And how did you decide to write a book in the first place?
I got told by my guides, which, I'm psychic. So about 15 years earlier, they said, begin to write because you're going to create a book that's going to help a lot of people.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so I just started writing. They said, don't start anywhere in particular. Take a circumstance in the life and just write about it and continue to do it until we tell you it's time. And I waited probably 7 years after my dad died. In 2012, it came out, the original book. And then I resurfaced it just this year.
Oh, okay. So now if it came out in 2012, so then you added stuff to it when you resurfaced it, you added a little
No, I resurfaced it because then it was time for me to do my work further. Okay. So it came out then. I was able to do a lot of stuff that Spirit asked me to do to help a lot of people. And now it was just time to resurface again and continue.
Now may I ask you?
Yes.
We're married.
Oh, congratulations.
Well, that's why we fight, because we're married. We're married 10 years, be 11 years soon.
God bless.
Anyway, let's get to the point I want to get to. My father suspected I was gay. And I was about 16, and he said to me, if you're a fag, I'd rather see you dead in a grave.
I got that.
Than gay. Because my father was a C-man, if you know what the C stands for. He was banging everybody he could because he was a good-looking Italian, and that's what they do. And my mother had to put up with that shit also. But he said, "Did you ever catch me?" She said, "No." He said, "Well, then cut it out." But I would be in the car with him driving, and there was a woman crossing the street with big boobs. You had to hear. We went through 20 minutes of what he would do to her, hoping that he could educate me to be straight. All he did was make me gayer. Because what he was saying he would do with a woman is not what I would do. So what did your father do when he found out that you were gay?
So when I came out to him and my mom, I was 19. And it was because I was sick a lot, like physically ill, because I couldn't live and speak my truth. And I was carrying all these other secrets as well. And it was just wreaking havoc on my body. And I wanted to, at that point, I was like, I just have to live my life. And surprisingly, I was in shock when he did react because I just thought he was going to get up and slap the shit out of me. Instead, he got very silent and took a deep breath. And I could see my mother like almost pray to the Blessed Mother in that minute, in that second that it was happening. And all he said to me was, "You're just going through a phase," he says.
Right.
That's it. You're just going through a phase. A lot of kids your age go through this. They experiment. And he says, and in no time, you'll be over it. And, you'll get married and have children. And I was like, oh, God, this is not happening. And so that scared me more. I wish he would have got up and slapped me because that scared me more, his reaction. And I just said, you know what? You're probably right. I said,
accept it, and that makes it longer. You got to go through it longer. my father said to me, I forgot what he said exactly, but my answer in my mind was, yeah, I'm going to be straight. That's why I do Jane Russell and drag in nightclubs.
Right.
That's how straight I'm going to be to myself. But I did get married, and I do have 2 wonderful children, and I was married 16 years. Of course, it wasn't who I was. It was a lie. But, there was another fellow that was part of the group that I hung out with in Brooklyn. And he was married. He was Italian. And he would hit on me all the time. So even the wise guys, a lot of them are gay, but they don't come out and say it because they
No, of course not.
won't be wise guys anymore.
Right.
But my father, when he was dying of cancer at the end, said to me, as long as you're a decent gay, and I was with the same person for a long time, Sal DeGeorge, my then lover. And my father loved him. And my
46 years. They were together
my
for
father
46
said,
years.
as long as you're decent and you're with Sal, it's okay. I just don't want you to be a filthy fag running in the toilets looking to blow everybody. And I thought to myself, my God, what kind of an idea does he think of gay people? He really had a stereotypical, I remember one time I was with the boys in Brooklyn and with their wives, and we went to Plato's to see it. And of course, the women were all shocked because they're not allowed to go to Plato's. Plato's, by the way, was an all-nude club in New York City.
Like a swingers club.
Swingers club.
Right.
And all the boys had to pee. Well, one head guy went into the men's room, ordered everybody out, and stood guard outside as they all went into pee because they were afraid that there might be a homosexual in there that will say something to them. And I thought to myself, they should be so lucky because it would probably be the only blowjob they get because Italian wives don't do that.
Right.
So that was my reaction. Of course, I never told them, but I just found it hysterically funny that they had to have an armed guard outside to protect all those tough guys that had 6,000 guns on them,
Right.
A little skinny faggot that might say, "Oh, you got a nice piece of meat, Mary." I don't know.
Wait, so did you
Amazing.
did you ever bring a girlfriend home, or you didn't get to do those kinds of things?
If I was a lesbian, I'd be in love with her right now. She'd have to be my lover. If I was a gay woman, I was pretty when I was young. You would have liked me too.
No, did you ever get to
you're my type.
Did your family ever get to did your family ever meet anyone that you were romantically involved with?
There was only, my mom did. At 24, I came out again to my mom and I said to her, you do what you want with it. I said, but this is it. I can't do this anymore. But they knew about the first girl in high school that I was with. And I would, she was my best friend as well. So, and my mother loved her dearly. But nobody ever spoke about it. Everybody just kind of knew, but didn't speak about it.
Right,
exactly. But yeah, she actually met my father too. I would take her sometimes to Sunday dinner. And, he got told that we were just friends and everybody, pretty much if they were asked by him who I'm dating or whatever, they would just say, she's dating a couple of guys, everybody would be lying to him because he wouldn't be able to handle it, and at that point I didn't care. I needed to live.
Right.
You have brothers and sisters or the only kids?
No, I have 2 brothers.
With your mother, I'm talking.
With my mother, 2 brothers and 2 sisters.
Oh, wow.
So he could have had a gay kid. It wasn't like he wasn't ever going to have grandchildren.
Oh, he had 15 grandchildren, and he's got great grandchildren. So
he could have
plenty of grandchildren.
And how is the rest of the family?
You are so cute. You're like a little boy. You're adorable. How old are you?
56.
I'm 56.
You don't look 56. You look like a young kid, like a college.
Oh, I love that. Thank you.
But it's true. You don't look like a 56-year-old. I don't listen. I blow smoke up no one's ass.
Yeah, he doesn't lie.
I know you. I can tell that right from the beginning, Ron.
I know it like it is. If you don't like it, go screw yourself.
So how was your relationship with your other siblings since the book came out? I mean, obviously they know that you're a lesbian. And with the book coming out.
Oh yeah, I mean everybody knew that. But when the book came out, I don't speak to one of my brothers, and the other brother I'm starting to.
Why don't you speak to him?
He just thought it was a betrayal, of the family.
Betrayal?
Writing the
He
book.
thought my book was a betrayal.
Let's go back to the book.
But nobody read the book, so nobody really understood. And then when my sister read it, one of my sisters read it, she was like, "Oh shit!" She goes, "They need to read it. They need to see that it's not what they think it is."
It's really about you. It's really about
It
you.
is. It's all about me. It's all how I got to be who I am today through that, which was the blessing of my life. You know, that's what people need to understand. It really was.
I can understand your brother's viewpoint because you're trained from a child never to divulge any of the family names, secrets, or what they do. And this boy was raised with that sanction. And
Absolutely.
now he's reading in a book now, his sister saying things.
She said he didn't read it.
Well, I'm sure he did.
He's assuming, but that's okay. It's, you know.
I think he's stupid. If he's assuming, he should have really read the book. You know, don't assume. But I haven't read the book.
I
can't critique it.
I read reviews about the book and what the book is about, and the book isn't really about the book isn't really about like who your father killed and what he did. The book is about how you're part of this, how you're part of this family. Right, he never. But it's how you're part of how you were part of this family and how it has basically sculpted your whole life and what you did to heal and come out of it and become yourself.
Exactly.
I have another little story. What's more wholesome than going to a church bazaar and playing the roulette wheel? What's more wholesome than that? Okay? My Brooklyn friends control that wheel, and they control the entire bazaar in the church.
Right.
I mean, you couldn't get more Christian than that.
I know, that's funny.
I like so I went on your website, you guys. It's ritagigante.net, you guys, and you do a bunch of different kinds of things, and you have a one-woman show. So tell us a little bit about your one-woman show, because I saw that you did it something with some different people from The Sopranos. I'm not sure what that was because
I did a mediumship / psychic night with Joe Ganiscoli from The Sopranos, and we did 3 events where we would, you know, he would be cooking in the restaurant for the people, and I would be doing my thing, giving people messages. So it was nice. It was very nice. I did do my actual one-woman show in New York several years ago. I wrote it myself. Spirit said to me, "This is a good experience for you. Write it, put it on stage, see what happens." I did it. I did it twice. I loved it. But at that point, I didn't have someone to help me actually get it out there. And then, you know, life happens. So now I'm beginning to work with other people in other areas. I'm getting more interviews, and thank God I'm starting to get, you know, myself out there much more now.
Well, I think I did stand up for 46 years, by the way. I didn't work gay clubs. I worked all the straight clubs all over the country, okay? And I could usually tell who's good at stand-up. And I think you're a good talker, and I like your personality, and I like the way you handle your facial expressions. I think you should pursue that. And I think you should go forward, and I think you should listen to your guides and go. Do it again. Don't give up on stand-up, because you could be very, very funny without trying.
Yeah, my friends tell me I am the female version of Maniscalco. And it's very nice. I love that. I love to make people laugh. I love to bring levity even to the darkest, you know, places, because I think people need that. I think people need that kind of stuff, you know.
We need laughter today more than ever before.
Absolutely. It's the healing remedy.
Place, and it's bullshit they're pulling, these crazy people in government.
They also should make it in the chat room. They're saying they should make it into your life into a movie too. I know you're doing a play.
Okay, I want to go there now because I love Julian. You know,
yes.
He's a sweetie pie. I wrote a movie, and I said to Julian, I don't know if it stinks or not. Could you read it? And I thought he would say, I don't have time. But he said, sure, Ron, I'll read it. And he read it. Not only did he read it, but he told me the changes to make. And I loved every change that he did. And I've made all the changes that Julian told me to make because I respect him so much. He's like probably one of the most important people on the East Coast of Broadway. Yes. And he's made my movie a better movie. So I think you're in great hands with him producing your play. And I cannot wait to see it. I cannot wait to see it. Well, I guess it'll premiere in the East Coast.
Are you going to play yourself? Are you going to be in it, or are you just?
Eventually, that's what he would like. He would like for me to play myself. He thinks that it's
I think
the
so.
most. So right now, I just I'm finishing up putting my book on tape. I used my own voice to tell my story because I just felt like it needed to be authentic and not have just anybody read it. So I just finished that up, and we're moving in all different directions with it. I'm excited.
I love the whole audiobook thing, and I think so. I work for an audiobook company part time on the side, and I think it's super important. Like if it's your story that you tell it, especially since you are like a figure, people know who you are. If you were like, if nobody knew who you were, it might not be as good. But the fact that people know who you are, I think that's a super smart thing to do, and it'll sell much better because you've read it yourself.
And invite us to opening night.
Of course.
Well, like I said, Jimmy and I never buy tickets because here's why. I'll tell you. Mr. Blackwell was.
Yes.
Mr. Blackwell was my lover, not my lover sexually, my lover as a friend. I love Richard. Richard and I, he was a Jew from Brooklyn, Italian Jew from Brooklyn. Mm-hmm. And when he wasn't in the scene in my house private, he came with it. He didn't shave. He had sneakers and he cursed like crazy. He was as common as I am. I loved him. Anyway, he said to me, Ron, if you pay for a ticket, your audience, you're no longer who you are. Your media. Get invited, and then you critique it. That's the payback. And that's what I keep telling Jimmy. We cannot go anywhere where we buy a ticket because we become audience and we lose our status as media. So it's not because we're cheap. It's because it doesn't make us look good. Because everybody will be inviting us to their things just so they make money. And then what? I'm going to give you money for a ticket and then critique you? That critiquing costs thousands of dollars, If you're in Jimmy's PR thing and he's promoting you, you pay for that publicity.
Right.
And you get it by giving us a ticket.
What?
And you get it for free when you ticket.
No,
I have a business partner. She actually lives in Long Island, and so we come back and forth a lot. But I think
I like to fix people up. Are you single?
No, I'm married. My wife and I are married. I have a stepson. He just had a baby. We have a granddaughter now.
Congratulations!
Thank you. We are loving life. Yeah.
I like love it. So,
and is she nice, your wife?
Oh, she's my everything. Honestly,
you don't emulate the guys. You're not tough with her, knock her around, do you?
No, God.
I know a lot of dykes that beat the shit out
don't
of
call that dykes is not appropriate.
Oh, you're not allowed to say dykes
anymore?
No.
I could care less. I don't.
I say faggots.
Yeah.
What are we?
I don't. It's funny. People ask me if I get offended by stuff, and I'm like, absolutely not.
I know. People call me a faggot. Oh, faggot. I say yes.
He's 83.
Yeah.
So he's a little bit older, and because he's a little bit older, he's from a different time.
I came from a time when we all had those. We said the best fun with each other. I mean, I did jokes in my show. I said, you out there, that lady with the short hair, the 18-wheeler dyke. That was a joke I did, and people laughed. But today, oh my God, it's offensive. It's not offensive. If we can't laugh at who we are, what the fuck?
Yeah, well, I hear you.
First of all, you're not a dyke, because if you were a dyke, you'd look like a dyke. In my days, the dykes, the real dykes, they were killer dykes. They could beat the shit out of a guy in a minute. I mean, these dykes, they used to go to Pandora's in the village. You ever go to Pandora's, the gay bar?
No.
In Greenwich Village? It was called Pandora's. And I went there one night. I was working at the upstairs, downstairs, performing as Jane Russell, and I went into the dyke bar. Well, these diesel broads lifted me up and put me on the bar. And they were loving all of it that I was doing. And I was carrying on like a crazy old whore. And all these girls loved me. I love gay people.
So
happy I'm gay.
Have you ever heard of Matt Rife?
Matt Rife. I don't think so.
Matt Rife. Okay, so he's an actor, but mostly he's a comedian who's becoming one of the biggest comedians like in the world now because he has no filter and he just talks about everything and everybody else.
I hate that expression, no filter. They say that about me. Ron Russell has no filter. No, wrong. Ron Russell tells the truth. He's honest. There's no such thing as a filter. I don't filter anything I think or say. I say what I feel is my idea of the truth.
Anyway, he talks about everything. He'll talk about everything. So he's very funny.
And
You
I
might
say
want to
to
look him
those
up.
that don't like it, if I find
Awesome.
So I want to go back a little bit. Okay, so author, we know author, speaker. So when you're speaking about the book, or or is it more like the psychic stuff, or like what would?
So I speak about the whole thing. Yeah, they get a good idea of who I am, where I came from, how I became who I am today. The fact that everything I've been through was a blessing to get me to this point. And I teach people, how to actually hone in on their own skills and be able to speak their own truth, because that's big. Today it's big to be able to help people to do that. Not everybody can, or they feel like they can't.
No one tells the truth nowadays. It's sad how everybody's, I write things on Facebook that are controversial. They're things that we should discuss. Nothing. We had a guest on 4 weeks ago, terrific actor, and he was killed in an automobile accident. Well, I got 250 carings. For that, people on Facebook know what to do. They send likes, but they don't like if you're saying anything that they don't understand.
Right.
I think that's where I want to go with you now. I want to go with what makes you think that you have guide and that you're just not nuts. What makes you think the difference?
I've had my own, seeings. Like, I want to say, I've been visited by Jesus, Mary. I've experienced healings, hands-on healings, where I could feel the Holy Spirit come through me. So those are some of the things that I've experienced, physically here. But when I do my work, I can tell the difference, because I can feel it, I can know it. Like they call that claircognizant, where you just know something. I can see it and hear it. So I'm using all my senses, and then I'm using my third, my sixth sense, or my third eye.
No, I'm familiar with all of this. Now you're going to get 1,500,000 contacts of people who are ill, who need you to help them. You're going to get a swamping of people.
So what's the difference between a psychic and a medium and a healer? Like, for people who don't know, because I don't exactly know if I know. I know you, but I didn't ask you. I asked her.
So a psychic is someone who can talk about the person's life. Like, if they have questions, concerns about their life, I can help them through, their guides and my guides connecting. I'll hear the information and give it to them. A medium is someone who can speak to their loved ones on the other side, including their animals. And honestly, being a medium, I know that I can't force another spirit to come through. They have to come through of their own volition because of free will. So that's the difference between those two. A healer is, I am a conduit for spirit. So if I put my hands on somebody and they give me permission to put my hands on them, and I ask them, do you want to heal? And they say yes. I call in my guides, their guides. If it's Mary, Jesus, whoever wants, Buddha, whoever wants to come in, comes in through me, and I'm just the conduit for it to happen. So I never say I'm healing somebody. I say the person is healing themselves, because they're opening themselves up to it, and it's just coming through me.
So it's not really.
I have a daughter that's a healer.
Oh, how nice.
My young daughter, Deirdre, she's a Reiki.
She's Reiki.
All the way up the line. Reiki all the way up the line. And I can, she's held me in places, and I felt tremendous heat and energy coming out of her.
Yes.
Wait, so did you ever, there used to be a TV show called Medium with Patricia Arquette, where
loved it.
But it's not like that, though, right? Where like she could see and tell you who killed somebody, and like.
Oh, some people do that kind of work. Okay. I don't, but some people do. Others do missing persons. Yes. They'll be able to tell you missing persons. So yeah, I just, that's not what I do. It seems like spirit has me working with people with unresolved issues with family members. Maybe they were ostracized for whatever reason, and they're in need of forgiving them so that they can move forward with their own lives. Right. And it seems that, they put me with people like that because of what I've experienced. And
right.
That to me, you can't ask for better than that, right?
Well, I was raised by a grandmother who was a witch. She used to do spells, and It's crazy to say this. I've never exposed it's about me. But she would put a broom behind the front door at night. Because if the Wicked Witch came to the house to do bad to us, she couldn't resist counting all the straws in the broom. And of course, she'd miss a straw and have to recount. So the daylight would come and the witch would go away. So I was raised with a lot of that stuff. I have what is called hunch. I can meet you.
Yeah.
And I have a hunch automatically. I don't know where it comes from, but I know the truth. And I expose people. That's why everybody has trouble with me, because I know what they're doing, who they are, where they're coming from. It's amazing how
And he's always right. Like everybody's like,
Ask
everybody will
Eileen
say no.
Shapiro.
Yeah, my
Ask-
business partner says that all the time. He'll tell her something, and she'll be like, yeah. And then 6 months later, she's like, fucking Ron was right.
right. And I tell her, I said, all the men love you. Maybe it's because of your 99Z tits. I don't know. Have you ever seen Eileen Shapiro?
No, she doesn't know Eileen.
Oh,
I didn't meet her through Eileen.
Oh, if you ever met Eileen Shapiro, if you go to hug her, you can't.
No.
Because you have to put your arms out like this to grab her shoulders. Her boobs are so big.
Actually, the way that we met you, now I forgot
I'm
her
so happy
name.
I met you.
There-
Are we really
but-
going to meet
but
you
we-
in New York?
yes,
Or you
we're gonna
bullshit?
I would love to. You guys let me know when you're coming.
We will let you
Wait,
know.
you cook? You know how to make lasagna?
I'm not the greatest cook,
An Italian girl, you don't cook.
but I'll take you to places that'll knock your socks off.
Yeah, up in Brooklyn, you have to go. Always next to the funeral parlor, Italian restaurant is the best one, right?
I'm sure it is.
It is.
Sure it is.
We go to a lot of funerals, and then after the funeral, we go eat in an Italian restaurant, and they
Right.
were always the best Italian
Actually,
food.
somebody contacted me about doing a movie, and she's somehow knows somebody who related to Ron. Anyway, she hooked me up with these people
My cousin's
to
birthday.
work on a movie, and then a week later, she said, "This is the perfect person to. I have to figure out what her name is. The perfect guest for your show. I think you will love this lady. You definitely
she's
need to
it?
reach out." And this is the lady she introduced. She sent me to Pasquale.
My cousin
Pasquale. Yes.
Pasquale, yeah. So Pasquale contacted me because she referred you to come
We're
on
talking
the show.
about Farrah.
Farrah.
My cousin
Do
Bert.
you know Farrah?
Yes.
Farrah. I know Farrah.
Okay, so it was
you know how
Farrah.
many years I
So,
know Farrah? Meanwhile, I forgot Farrah. It was terrible. She's been on my Facebook page for 20 years. What kind of Farrah? I never knew her as Farrah. She had another name. All right, Bella, they used to call her. So I knew Bella. My cousin Bertha, it was her husband that went to jail for 2 years. So it's all, whatever connected. But I adored my cousin Bertha was Jane Russell's double. You know who Jane Russell was?
Yes, of course. Yes.
friend.
Yeah, she was also my best friend for many years. But my cousin Bertha was Jane Russell double. So I know that Jane Russell and I were going to be friends because of the connection. There was I knew when I was young, I swear this is a true story. I was with my friend Mike Greco. We were watching Gentlemen Prefer Blondes in the movies. No, my friend Tommy Scuderi. Scuderi family, big name. Anyway, he loved Marilyn Monroe, and I loved Jane Russell.
Right.
Walking home from the movie, we used to fight. He'd say Marilyn's better than Jane, and we would go back and forth. All right.
Right.
All my life, I had a thing for Jane Russell. My cousin Bertha had cutouts, paper dolls. That was of that movie, and I used to always be Jane Russell, and she'd fight with me because she wanted to be Jane Russell. So this Jane Russell was always working. I go in Brooklyn to the Cotillion Terrace in drag with my friends, and the cameramen come over to me. They put me on a chair. They said, "You're Jane Russell," and that's how I became Jane Russell and worked at it.
Wow.
So there was a connection. Now I meet Jane Russell, and we become friends immediately. She invites me to her home, and we had a 10-year friendship until she passed away. How does that happen? Because it was preordained. It was supposed to happen.
Right. Exactly.
You believe that, right?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. That's why I'm on the show today.
Right. Everything is preordained.
So-
Definitely. I'm going to push your book like crazy.
So wait.
Thank you.
After I read it, because I won't be upset about it, because I know you're not going to talk about anything that went down or people's names, because we don't do that. I mean, I know somebody approached me. They got a hint that I knew. Suppose Mafia, that stupid word that doesn't exist. they said to me, you know these people, would you like to write about it? And I said, I have no idea what you're talking about. They said, well, you talked about your Brooklyn friends. I said, yeah, my Brooklyn friends. One was a plumber, one was a garbage man, and the other one was an electrician. You want to know about them? They're boring. What are you going to talk about? And they said,
By the way,
okay, Ron, so skirt around the issue. I said, you know what? Go fuck yourself. I have no time for it.
we have a lady in the
No
chat
time for
room.
shit.
Her name is B. Claudia, and she's in Germany, and she's writing all kinds of stuff about how she loves you, and she looked up the book in Germany, and she also put in Gianna Russo's book in there so we would know what it was. And she says, you have great eyes, very warm and likable, and you're a great guest.
Gorgeous.
So just say hi to B. Claudia because she loves that when we do that.
Hi,
If she
hi,
was a,
Claudia.
if she had a wang, you'd be in trouble, Jimmy.
She said
I
she-
might want to go to bed with her. She's so handsome.
She wants the book. She says she can't wait for your audiobook to come out, so you'll have to let us know. So if people want first of all, you guys, you can get the book at RitaGigante.net. You can also go on Amazon and get it. The name of the book is The Godfather's Daughter. If people are interested in your services, they just go to your website, right?
Absolutely. Everything is on the website.
So it's RitaGigante.net.
Are you related to a woman who would be my age today? Her name is Francesca Tyne, Fran Tyne. Because you
No.
look like Fran Tyne.
No, I'm not familiar with her name.
Yeah, she was a very good friend of mine. She was gorgeous. She looked like Ava Gardner.
Oh,
So do you have any events coming up that you want to tell anybody? Is there anything coming up that you want to promote, or it's mostly we're promoting?
And we want you back. You have to come back.
I would love to come back. I would love it. I am doing a speaking.
Book.
I'm sorry, love.
After I read the book, come back. This way we're able to talk about the book. I can't talk about your book because I don't know what the fuck it's about.
So if you guys would send me your address and I will send you a signed copy.
Perfect. We will do
Write a
that.
nice sentiment in because
Of course.
I mean, I have Tab Hunter, Mr. Blackwell, Jane Russell, Kay Ballard.
He loves all the books.
Everybody gave me a book. And
He
they
reads
wrote
them all,
up.
though. He reads everybody. Julian's book. He
I
literally sat
love-
and read it like
Did you read-
without even getting
wait,
up.
Did you read Julian's book?
I have not yet.
Oh,
No.
No,
Julian's
please. You're too young yet. Julian brought me back to my youth because Julian and I same age. He's Bronx, Brooklyn. But he wrote about things that I just said, oh my God, I didn't know other people in the Bronx did this. I thought it was only a Brooklyn thing.
Right.
And I fell in friendship with him over his book. And I'm sure everybody that reads it, well, you have to read his book. Everyone
will.
else, read his book.
Everyone out
What
there
is it
read her
called
book.
again?
Julian's book is called A Producer's something.
Oh my God, Julian, you're going to kill me if you're watching.
He'll watch
I
it.
love him. I
He's
so
fabulous.
love him.
Oh,
Um,
how could you not love him?
He's just such a good human being.
As we say in Italian, he's a mensch.
So wait, go ahead. What do you have coming up? You have something coming up?
July 8th, I am doing a speaking engagement at the LGBTQ Center in New York City. So that's one of the events I have coming up. I have a lot of mediumships coming up where I'm going either like to the restaurants or to people's homes or, and then I have some interviews lined up as well. So I'm keeping myself busy, that's for sure.
You guys can follow her on Instagram. She's at Rita Gigante Psychic. Her website is RitaGigante.net. And follow her. Are you on any other like Twitter or any other platforms, or is Instagram?
Twitter, they can get me on Twitter, but it's all on. If they go to the website, they'll find everything.
So go to the website, you guys. Order the book. Get a signed copy.
Did you know all the other kids of famous men?
No, I only knew one gentleman that worked for the Gambino crime family, young kid my age, but he worked for them, and we were dear friends for a long time.
Right. So you didn't know the kids of other people.
No, it wasn't like that.
I was too young. In other words, the big wise guys were older than I.
Yeah.
So I came up with their children who are now a little younger than I and some are older than I.
Right.
We'll have to introduce you too, because you'd probably like Jack O'Halloran and Gianni Russo, because they're just fun. Yeah, they're just fun.
But you have to be careful of families. I don't know. Are the families still at war? Or are people?
There's no such thing as families.
No, there are families. Because years ago, I had friends in Brooklyn that were not allowed in Las Vegas.
Mm.
Now they are. Now they
Right.
are. Because Vegas is no longer a family.
These
Right.
are all entertainers now, though. Johnny Russo's an actor. Jack Halloran, he's an actor, you
Right.
know.
And I'm an actor.
And he's an actor.
I do a lot of movies, crappy
I'm a
movies,
producer.
but they're movies.
I like love it. All right, everybody. So this is Rita because we got another guest getting ready to come on. This
Rita,
is-
Thank-
we wanna
Rita.
thank-
Jimmy, Ron, thank you so much, guys. I so appreciate it. Really.
Good best, and if you tag me in social media, anything, I'll like send it to me. I'll share it to everybody because I got a pretty big following, and I would love to help promote any way that
And
we
when
can.
we
You've been
get to New,
fabulous.
when we get to New York, I'm calling you. I'm not bullshitting you.
Listen. You send me the email. I'll send you my contact info.
We
Perfect.
got to get together.
I'll send it after the show.
Definitely, because
Awesome.
So thank you so much, and
Really
Pasquale. We want to thank Pasquale for setting this up too. Thank you so much. Best to you, your
And
grand
You too, honey. You too.
children,
Cousin Farah for
and cousin Farah. That's
Well,
right.
hooking
Yes.
Say hello
Thank
to
you,
your
Farah.
Say hello.
Be
to
well, hon. Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye-bye now.
pleasure.
Yeah.
Una grande piacere a conoscere.
Yay! So everybody, that was Rita. That was a lot of fun. Something different for
You
us.
see why I like New York? Because that's a New Yorker. She's a typical New Yorker. I'm only happy and at home when I'm with my people.
So now we're going to take a quick music break, you guys. We're going to play Beyond Frontiers, Separate Ways. And Beyond Frontiers is the Journey cover band that our next guest, Joey Belladonna, is the singer for. He's also the lead singer of Anthrax, which everybody knows because they're
And
like
he's
the biggest
also
thing.
one of the nicest people in the world.
And he and his wife, Krista, are coming
And
on.
his wife is beautiful, and she's
They're
his
both
one.
coming on.
Oh, they're both coming
Yeah, I think
on.
they're both coming
Oh,
on.
good.
So it's going to be a lot of fun. But in the
They're
meantime,
favorites of mine.
this is a live version of Journey's song Separate Ways done by Beyond Frontiers, sung by Joey Belladonna. Enjoy, everybody. So you guys, that was Joey Belladonna's band, Beyond Frontiers. They're a Journey cover band. They're so freaking awesome. It's not even funny.
Now he made me want to dance.
And
I don't want to do the interview. I want to dance.
No, now we're going to bring them on. Now we're going to bring Joey and Krista on. Krista Belladonna is his wife. Yay! Hey!
I just got to know, how did he get it?
Wait. First, let's see if they can hear them. Let's see if we can hear them. Say something.
Hey, can you hear us?
Yay!
How did you get such a beautiful woman? You must have lied, bribed, and did a lot of stuff to get her. I mean, a guy like you that looks like you didn't get a woman that looked like that. I mean, you're kind of cute. You're cute, but she's gorgeous. Look at her. Hi, honey. How are you?
Oh, it's so good to see you.
I love the both of you. You know that, don't you? We do.
Okay, so what I want to do, I want to turn the volume up in a little bit if I can. Let me just make sure I can hear good here. So I'm going to do a little introduction. Oh, I'm
excited to have you on again.
Yeah,
guys.
you guys look so terrific. So, all right, everybody, now we want to welcome to the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell, Krista and Joey Belladonna, the most awesome rock star couple on the planet. Yay! Hello and welcome.
You're looking good, you old bag. No, he looks good. He's cute. He's a cute guy.
Yeah, he's a cute guy.
If he came to Palm Springs, I know a lot of queens that would throw themselves at him. A lot of the gay guys, they'd want to do you. You know, they would go down on you. But anyway,
Wow.
That's Palm Springs.
So we have a chat room full of people. Say hi to everybody in the chat room.
Hi.
Hey, what's up?
Look how pretty. Look at your wife's got beautiful teeth. You know what they say? Years ago, a guy would look at a woman's teeth. If she had bad teeth, he wouldn't marry her because he knew the dentist bill would be a big one. So when you looked at her, you saw those good teeth. You said, I could marry her, right?
Oh, well.
Dr. McGrath for those.
So how long have you guys been married?
We got engaged in 1989.
What year?
1989, so that's
That's a
23,
long
30,
time.
34 years.
4 years.
And you don't even look more.
And how long were you together before you got married?
3 months.
Oh, that was oh my gosh! So it was like a shotgun wedding, and look, it lasted all
What
this
shotgun?
time.
He took a look at her. He knew somebody else was going to grab her. So he grabbed her before anybody else did. What did you think? He's stupid?
I love it. I think it's so cute.
Meanwhile, I like your music, Joey.
Oh, thank you.
Because I don't like most of the shit they do today. But I wanted to dance.
I told him that that's a cover. That's not your music.
I
That's
don't
your
care whose
cover
it is.
band.
It's the way he does it. You have polyps? You have polyps on your throat?
There's a lot of good songs on there, you know.
No, because he screams and yells and sings so vibrantly.
No fault.
Usually those voices die early. And you still have it. You're still good. You're still up there, kid.
Thank you. Thank you.
So first, I want to say, because this is all about me. So like I did a whole even though I knew a whole bunch of stuff about you, and you've been on the show before, and we had a blast when we were all in New York City. And my favorite part of that, by the way, was when you got up at the end and you were singing Journey, and I kept following you around so I could be near you on stage because I knew all the cameras were on you singing it. But I think that you could easily have been the lead singer of Journey. You sing easily as good. As
he sings better than I think the majority.
Isn't that funny? I just had a brain fart now with Steve Perry. I was having a brain, but you easily sing as good as Steve Perry does, and I think he's one of the greatest. Journey is one of the greatest rock bands ever existed.
I would compare you to my favorite singer. What's his name? David Bowie.
Oh, David. Yeah, David was great, wasn't he?
I loved him. I loved David Bowie.
Sad. He should be.
Some red shoes, put on your red shoes, boom. Oh, I love that when he did that.
So wait,
you remind me of Dave Bowie in your voice.
I want to know
that
though,
same range.
Because okay. So everybody, first of all, we should tell everybody who's tuning in, in case you don't know who Joey Belladonna is, you guys. He's the lead. Krista is his gorgeous wife and supporter, and she's everywhere, and they're gone all the time. If you follow their Instagram, if you follow Joey's Instagram, which is actually Joey Belladonna Official, you'll see that basically they're out someplace every day, practically
performing. But he's the lead singer of Anthrax, you guys. He's a 6-time Grammy nominee. And along with Metallica, Megadeth, and Slayer, they're credited with originating the thrash metal genre, of which I have to say, I think that's great. I'm so old that it's kind of too old. I'm too old for it a little bit. Whereas when you sing The Journey, I'm like, oh my God, that's the greatest voice ever. You should also, come up with original songs that are kind of like Journey songs just for yourself, because I think that
What do you
you
know?
would kill it.
A director? A
No,
music
but I
director?
know a lot about music. I've been in the industry 25 years. I know a lot about it.
Yeah, but you know what? He was singing today
Oh, I can't
with
sing.
earphones. I had to tell him to stop because the neighbors would think I'm beating him up and he's crying. And he's screaming in pain. He sounds like he's in pain. And, I mean, what the hell kind of voice? Meanwhile, when you came on with that song that we just played, made me want to dance. I'm 83. If you can get an 83-year-old to want to dance, you're very good.
Oh, we have a lot more songs in the set that you can really dance.
Oh, I know your music. I'm not stupid to your music. I know your music.
So wait, tell me.
I never got over the name Anthrax because I thought of the disease Anthrax.
It is.
So that I never got over.
So
the name
how
of the
long
group.
has Anthrax been around?
Oh, well, early before me, even before I got in the band. I got in the band in 84.
So a long time.
Well, yeah, a couple of years, I think, before me, not being specific, but they've had a few changes along the way to get up and running full time. But I think when I came in, we were really, really on a roll,
So
Now, is Belladonna your real name?
That's my name, yes.
So you're Italian, Belladonna.
Oh, yeah, Belladonna. Yeah.
Belladonna is a beautiful woman in Italian.
My mom's
That's what he married, una Belladonna. So he's not stupid,
Italian, man. That's right.
right?
he's Italian too.
I'm Italian.
And actually, our last guest that we just had on was Italian too. Rita Gigante. Gigante.
We Italians, we know who we are.
Are you in L.A. now? Are you both in L.A.?
Fairy Springs.
We live in Palm Springs. We go to LA
which
a
is
lot.
the capital of all queens, all faggots.
Oh,
It's the capital. It's the gay capital of the world. That's why we're here.
Where do you guys actually, when you're not, because you're according to your Instagram, you're like someplace every day practically. So where do you guys actually live when you're not like playing someplace?
what do we do, or where do we live?
Where do we live?
Where do you live?
Oh, we're upstate New York.
Syracuse.
Okay.
Sir.
Oh, Syracuse.
Yeah.
Oh,
I went to school there. We've been there.
I love upstate New York in the fall. And, we have friends up in Milford.
Oh,
That's Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I know, but it's upstate. It doesn't matter. When you come from New York City, everything is upstate.
But you also have people at the lake, Lake Geneva.
Lake Geneva, Milford, and brutal winter. You can't go there in the winter. Brutal.
we'll bring you up sometime in the winter. You can hang out and bundle up.
No. We're moving back to New York. We're moving to East Hampton.
You are.
On Long Island. Yeah, on Long Island. Next year, we're planning it.
Yeah.
And everybody's saying to me, what are you going to do in the winter? I said, you make winter out like it's a death sentence. It's a season. It's nice to, in the summertime, you're sweating and hot. You can't wait for the fall. When the fall comes, you wear sweaters. It's nice. And then in the winter, you wear coats. And then you can't wait to get naked again in the spring. So California, boring. Same shit every day.
Yeah, I like
The
the
same thing. Same sun. They say, what's tomorrow's weather going to be like? It's going to be like yesterday.
Wait, you guys okay with the cold weather?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you would like less of it, but I love to change the seasons. Fall is really beautiful, and
Beautiful.
to dress, like you said, different clothing. You get different modes. You just kind of.
I also tell the people that say, how are you going to deal with winter? I said, I've got 6 or 8 movies I'm making. Not one of them are in cold climate. They're all in warm climates. So Jimmy and I will be gone all winter working in different places. So it doesn't bother me. I just had to throw that in so I'm important.
So I wanna like talk a little bit. First of all, let me brag a little bit. I like to brag. I like to brag for people who come on. Like you.
He's cool.
Yeah, when I put the graphic up that you were coming on, and I should have made one with you coming on too, Crystal. I didn't think about it, but I knew that like Joey would bring everybody in, and I knew that you were going to come on because we wanted you to come on because we love you. We think you're like the coolest.
We had such good fun. Remember we were standing in the street in Manhattan acting like crazy people.
It was much fun.
We had a lot of fun.
The taxi. Remember the taxi?
Remember the taxi ride?
Yes,
Yeah.
it was just a blast.
It
It was
a
fun.
really good time. You guys are fun. Really and truly.
The party was fun too on the
Bring it
rooftop.
out. Yeah.
On the rooftop.
Everything we did, we got along well, and we really appreciated each other's insanity. My insanity, Jimmy's Good thing Jimmy didn't sing. That's the only thing.
I did sing that night on stage, but
Oh,
he
you
was so
did?
loud that he was like, he had the mic. None of us. They were smart. They only gave one mic, so the rest of us who were on stage who couldn't sing, you couldn't hear us. So it was.
We have to do it again. We all have to hook up in New York.
Oh no, absolutely.
Our breath of fresh air.
So here, I'm going to brag a little. So you guys, Joey Belladonna has shared the stage with Iron Maiden, Kiss, Ozzy Osbourne, Black Sabbath, Dio, Public Enemy, Living Colour, Primus, Motley Crue, Bon Jovi, Alice Cooper, Lynyrd Skynyrd, Whitesnake, Slayer, Judas Priest, Slipknot, Motorhead, Lamb of God, Megadeth, Rob Zombie, Killswitch Engage, Alice in Chains, Steel Panther, Black Label Society, King's X, Testament, Overkill, Exodus, Halloween, and more. And I took that off your website. There's probably more of them since then. But that gives you an idea.
Amazing career.
Basically, like the people of rock. Like those are all the everybody's of rock. Did you ever see the movie Rockstar with Mark Wahlberg? Like, did you like that movie? Like, I love that movie.
I do too.
Especially the part where he just goes into audition. And then, because that's supposed to be loosely based on the guy from Judas Priest,
Rob Halford.
Rob Halford, yeah. So it's supposed to be loosely based. And then the guy who replaced Rob Halford in Judas Priest for a while, Tim, I forgot his name, but he was on our show when that movie came out.
Yeah, Tim.
Ripper Owens. Yeah, Tim Ripper Owens. And
we had Tim out on our road trip. Forgot the name of a band he had out. I'm drawing a blank right now.
There's another one though, because he's another one like you with some incredible voice. The beginning of the Rockstar movie is like one of my favorite. A lot of times I watch it just to watch that part of it.
On a serious note, because I do get serious every now and then, your music is still happening. Unlike lots of music that I love, as in disco. What was that?
I don't know.
Is that you singing?
I
know. Disco is gone and swing is gone, but your music is still here. What do you think about rap? Would you be a rap singer?
No, I'm not very good at that.
I don't like rap. I don't think it's singing. I think it's speaking, and I certainly don't like, what is that rap called? Murder rap, killer rap,
gangster rap.
Gangster rap. I don't like that. I think that your music will be forever. I don't think it'll ever age because it hasn't so far. I grew up with your music.
Well, we never gave in to what we do, so we just keep going, and everybody that loves that kind of music is so into it. So we're happy about that. I'm not against rap. I just don't want to do it very well.
Right now on Broadway, the hit musical is the life story of Jesus. I've got a brand new pair of roller skates.
Oh, I've got a brand new pair.
Oh, Melanie.
No, that's Melanie. The other one, what's her name? Why does everybody move away? Lord, oh, Jesus.
I know what you're talking about.
I'm old. My brain's gone.
He just turned
Why
83.
doesn't anyone stay in one place anymore?
Oh, Carole King.
Carole King. How could I forget Carole King? I grew up with Carole.
That's a big difference from Melanie.
No, but roller skates, Melanie sounded like Carole King.
You got
a friend, yes.
We've got a friend. Carole King is the hottest thing right now, and a lot of young people are starting to love her music.
Yeah.
So you see, good music, Joey, never goes away.
Right. That's why
Johnny Mathis, my hero, who I love, you know who Johnny Mathis is, and I've met him 3 times, and he's a sweetheart, sings all over the country, and it booked audiences. And he's 87 years old.
Amazing.
And he's still singing Chances Are, and people are loving it. So you're going to be around for a really, really long time. And you look good, you old bag. How old are you?
Thank you.
You're no kid.
I'm young kid, right?
You're not. You look young. You really look very young. You've had work done, got stuff in your face, wrestling, all that other shit, Botox, nothing.
You're talking about he's been the lead singer of a huge band, and the band's been around for fucking like 40 years.
He's got to be at least 112.
Yeah.
Well, the only one I had done today was I had shaved.
Did you
shaved? He shaved.
Wait, did you ever have a facelift?
Yeah, that's the loving I get. Right?
Did you ever have a facelift And I don't mean your wife sitting on your face either.
How'd you know?
So wait a second. I have a question.
Wait a minute. I got to get him. Look how good he looks.
Looks.
He looks like 30 years old, 35 years old. I mean it. I really do. Everybody will agree.
So wait a second. Let's go back to Krista for a minute. So Krista, because she's smiling and laughing, but let's bring her into the conversation.
Well, she felt
so first of all,
embarrassed.
so were you like a rock star groupie, or like how is it that you like met him to be like, oh, you want like did he ask you out? Were you like a groupie? Were you throwing panties on the stage? How did you guys actually like meet?
Well, I was a Hawaiian Tropic model, and
Okay.
back in Florida, back in Fort Lauderdale when the spring break was big, back in the 80s.
That's where I lived. I'm from Fort Lauderdale.
We
I
must
lived
have
in Fort
seen each other.
Lauderdale, and I used to go down there from college for spring break every year. It was awesome.
Yeah.
I was there from 84 through 89, around that.
Yeah.
Okay, I was there. Well, in college, I was in college from 83 to 86. So those are the years I went to spring break.
Crazy, too.
Because it ended in 86 because they clamped down on it. So I bet we saw each other.
Oh, absolutely. The candy store and all those like places. That was so much fun.
candy store in Beverly Hills.
No, candy stores.
The candy so many times and I couldn't. And my sister walks in and first time, bam, wins it. You gotta be kidding me.
Were you a blonde? Were you a blonde then?
Am I blonde?
No, were you a
were
blonde in the 80s?
When
Have you always
he
been a
met
blonde?
you, were you a blonde?
Yes. Well, I was working backstage at Monsters Rock down in Miami, and he saw me and stole a golf cart.
And came to find you.
No, because all my Italian friends love blondes. I was married to a blonde. She was Dutch. So I think we like white women.
Could be.
Not Italian women with beards and mustaches.
So, no preference. Just
None at all.
used to work.
It just
You
wasn't.
So wait, so you're at Monsters of Rock, which is a huge show. I mean, it's still a huge show. So what does he do? He shows up in a golf cart and says, "Hey, what's up?" Or did you know who he was? Like,
Met him briefly twice before. I mean, just really briefly. At a Journey. One was at a Journey concert actually, and so he comes up to me and this golf cart is chasing me down. I'm like, not thinking it's for me because why would anybody be coming after me? So then he pulls up next to me and he stops and he goes, "Hey, I'm Joey Belladonna," and I don't know, somehow I ended up in this golf cart and.
Well, listen, he's cute now. I can imagine what he was looking like back then. You saw how handsome he was and sexy, and you thought to yourself, not bad. Maybe I'll go there and let him get fresh with me a little bit.
I thought, let's see. He's kind of.
wait, let's see what she says. Go ahead.
So he didn't try and do anything with me. When he did touch me on the leg and I said no, he said, okay.
Italian.
Total respect. He never, and then that's just the way it was with him. I could tell in an instant that he had such a good heart and that he respected to me and he listened to me. And I saw him treat other people the exact same way, no matter who they were. It didn't
So
matter.
you weren't like a big whoremonger then, even though you were like a lead singer in a band. You were like kind of like.
Oh, don't make him out to be an angel.
I am not an angel, but.
Oh, him. I mean, I got news for you. I was good friends with Paul Anka's manager, all right? And he, about the panty things, they paid the broad to throw the panties on the stage.
Oh,
A lot of bullshit. But in the green room is where the chick, what do they call them? The groupies would be. And I mean, the guys, listen, I saw it and I'm not lying. I won't mention the group, and you were there. But one of the most famous groups, we were in the green room and a girl was giving head to the lead singer. And I walked in and he didn't even care. Didn't care. And she's going to town on it.
Wait a second. In the thrash metal genre.
Wait, I'm not finished.
Well, hurry up, because I want to talk.
Is that true? Is that true that you guys were getting head every other minute?
He wasn't, because he was.
Oh, yes.
Before you got married, of course. Oh, he's full of shit. He's got that guilty look. You're Italian. Are you kidding? You were playing Hide the Salami.
I played stadiums with Slayer, Megadeth, and then Alice in Chains was opening. So they were playing stadiums, and he was the groupie magnet. And there was a red Corvette topless red Corvettes, or convertible, with the 3 most gorgeous women you've ever seen following the tour bus around. And fudge, I ran into them in the restroom one day before the show. They didn't know who I was. I knew who they were. So I made friends with them. I didn't tell them because I just wanted to know who they are and why are you following the band around. And it just broke my heart how nice they were. And that I'm not going to say in case somebody sees this, but there were reasons and they just needed love. And that told me right then and there why a lot of people do what they do. They just want attention. They want someone to notice them. They want someone to love them. Doesn't matter who they are, what they look like, what music they like. Doesn't matter who you are. They want love.
Yes.
Wait. You still have to push women away from him, I'm sure. Joey's got that guilty look. Your face, you never play poker.
I think though everybody knows because everybody knows you guys are together. Like you're always together. Like
please.
He almost doesn't even take a picture that you're not
Please,
in.
Listen. Do you know who Tristan Rogers is? The soap opera star of one of those programs.
I think so.
He's Scorpio on General Hospital.
He's a good friend of ours and his wife. And his wife Teresa has said to me, they would go out in public and women would get in between Teresa and Tristan and didn't give a shit. Yes. They were hitting on, because Tristan was gorgeous when he was young, and they were hitting on him right and left. I have that problem all the time at 83 years old.
We do have that problem. We don't go to gay bars very often, but if we went to a gay bar,
you're going to
if we went if we were in Pennsylvania and we don't go to gay bars a lot because we're just not really the gay bar kind of people, but we went into one and I was sitting next to him and somebody literally walked in front of me. We were facing each other, so I could to introduce themselves to me and just like didn't even exist.
Yes.
That's because I'm Italian and I wear tight jeans.
Wait. Go ahead, Krista.
Get it all the time, especially local people. They will try and get it in physically and in the relationship, get in between.
He's still cute, He doesn't look his age and he's still good looking.
Crazy. And it's like, you're telling me how much my husband loves you? Really? Are you?
No, I think that's funny. He's just smiling. You have the cutest smile too, by the way, when you're just kind of like sitting there.
What are you gonna say? I'm like,
you see all kinds,
Yeah.
And sometimes I just laugh because it's kind of funny, really, sometimes.
Well, who's he coming home?
It's good though that you guys have such a strong bond together, because I could see how that could also create like problems with like people like wanting to hit on you all the time. What about when you go and you're performing now as the Journey cover band? What's it called again? Beyond Frontiers. Do you have the same problem? Like they still come after you?
Yes.
No.
Yes. More women, yes, they do, because they see Joey on stage. Whereas with Journey, you don't usually get up close. You can't get that close. And I think obviously with Beyond Frontiers, you can. So I think it's that, wow, they finally get to see up front what a performer does and what they look like and the true emotions on their face and how much they put out. I think it's different. We're getting a different crowd. And I haven't had anyone try and get in between us yet. I'm sure it will happen. But it's great to see the happiness in people's faces.
Yeah,
I don't think that women are throwing themselves at Rod Stewart nowadays.
Yeah, they are.
Rod Stewart? You see what he looks like?
I like Rod Stewart.
Doubt it.
I like Rod Stewart, so I would think so. And I think
Jimmy's one of those freaks that like older men.
I think Rod Stewart's
I don't know why
cute,
he married me, but
so how did you come up with the? Is it because your voice is so like in tune with like singing Journey songs that you decided to do it? How did you decide if you're going to make a cover band and it was going to do Journey songs?
Well, I've always been into the music so much as I liked them even before Steve came along, but I always thought that it would be kind of cool to have a full night of it, we'd be singing it. And Chris and I, we ran into a keyboard player on one of the cruises, the Shiprock cruises, and I asked him, he's Lee Greenwood's band director, and he's keyboards and takes care of everything. So I asked him if he would be interested in putting a Journey thing together, and he goes, I got the band. And there we went,
Oh my God, I love it because like Journey's one of like.
You still, as I said, you still can do it.
When I was in
you get away with it.
When I was in high school,
most performers your age can't get away with it anymore because they look like older men trying to look like young men, and that's not necessarily attractive. But you still get away with it because when you perform, you still look very young.
I
You-
just
Sounds
Your
fantastic.
energy. No, but if you don't know his age, you think he could be 29, 30 years old.
When I was in high school, we saw Journey and Loverboy. You know, that was like the big concert when I was like, I don't know when I was in high school. I know it was when I was in high school, and it was like one of the greatest like concerts like that you could ever go to because I love Loverboy, and we actually met the guy from Loverboy. We were at a restaurant. He just happened to be at the table next to us here in Palm Springs, and
I've been to so many. You know what? This is my era. Don't forget, I was here in the 60s and 70s when it was all happening.
Journey's 80s though.
No, but I've seen it happen. You're jumping the gun. I'm going to punch you right in the face. Drives me crazy. I love him to death, but he does it.
So I want to go back though.
I saw the begin. Listen, we went from Doris Day and Peggy Lee. We went from that ballad music and Frank Sinatra and Perry Como people to a new sound. Oh my God, it's 1960, and people are having Ricky Ticky stickers, and we're wearing bell bottoms, and we all are hippies. We have hair like you. We all look like different people, and the transition was quickly. It wasn't an easy transition. So I grew up with all the great. I even like Country Joe and the Fish. Who ever heard of him? You ever hear of Country Joe and the Fish?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
He's probably heard of everybody though.
So that music came then. David Bowie. Who was David Bowie? A skinny little queen. Nobody cared about him. And look what he became. I saw them all when they were nobody.
So wait, go back. What's your favorite Journey songs to do then?
Well, I have a great set of stuff. I mean, I love anything off Escape. Infinity was a great record. The first one Steve did, Wheel in the Sky.
Yeah, I love that.
Lights is a great song. I mean, I like, Faithfully is a great ballad. Open Arms, a really nice ballad. I mean, there's so many good songs. They have a really good set.
They really
My
do.
favorite song of the day was Heard It Through the Grapevine.
Don't Stop Believing. Heard it great.
Oh, Don't Stop Believing is there, yes.
No,
That's funny because
Heard It Through the
we actually got
Grapevine.
contacted when I guess Arnell Pineda is still the lead singer, but we got contacted by somebody to come on our show, but and I wanted them to come on the show, to have him on the show, but they wouldn't come on unless I gave them what all the questions were going to be, and I was like,
Yeah,
we don't do a show like that because we just talk. So they didn't come on.
We brag about you. We got to brag about ourselves a little bit. Right now, over 5 million people get us. They either get us in sound or picture, but we have a 5 million person audience. How do you think we got that way? By having a rehearsed show that's so fucking boring you can vomit? You don't know what I'm going to ask you, and everybody watching is saying, what is that crazy queen going to ask that guy now?
We recently broke 1,100,000,000 streams.
Yeah, nobody's done that. Nobody's done that. And the reason is because I treat...
Oh, yeah, look at her. She's got her pride socks on.
No, Jimmy and I are real. We're not fake people. We talk to you like if we were really like we were on the street in New York. We're talking the same. We're not.
I also I went on
editing it.
When I googled you too, though, Joey, it said that you were in an episode of Married with Children. Were you on that as Anthrax, or were you on as yourself?
No, the whole band.
Anthrax.
Did you guys get to talk, or did you just play it like a concert?
We wrecked the house.
Oh my gosh, I have to go find that episode. We have to find that.
Dinner with Anthrax.
My Dinner with Anthrax.
My Dinner with Anthrax.
Yep.
Oh, I'm gonna look it up. I want to see it. Also, you were in the movie Pledge Night as Anthrax.
Oh yeah, Pledge Night. Oh God.
Oh shit.
My Dinner with
Krista, how
Anthrax.
come you never got in the movies? You're good looking enough
Thank you.
and sexy enough. How come you never did it?
Miami Vice.
What?
She was on Miami Vice. Miami Vice.
She was in Miami Vice.
Yeah, but I never saw it.
No, we have to go see it. No. Do you like being did you like after modeling, what did you do? Once you got married, did you just pretty much manage and go with him?
I did. Because I was with Hawaiian Tropic, still doing stuff with them at the time. And then I came up here and really didn't do much. Got asked to do 21 Jump Street. And
I love that.
I missed. I couldn't do it. Yeah, I started just doing stuff for Joey. And back then, the music business was such that I was asked not to be in pictures and videos so as to not let the fans realize Joey
married or that he has a
But
girlfriend.
you know something?
Yes.
If ever they make the life story of Loretta Young, you could play Loretta Young. How many people have told you you look like Loretta Young?
You.
Only me? Do you know who Loretta Young is?
Oh, for sure. Yes.
You had darker hair. You look just like her. You got her smile, her dimples, everything. Seriously, you look like Loretta Young. Now that I brought it to the attention of the world, they're all going to be telling you that.
Actually,
no, seriously.
'Cause I like-
even your smile. Loretta Young had a very big smile also.
everybody that knows you guys thinks you guys like, they really see you guys kind of like as a unit anyway. Because nobody ever says, "Oh, Joey Belladonna is great," and doesn't mention Krista. And it goes the other way around. If you're just talking about Krista, so like people really see you guys like as a
Same as us.
as a cohesive unit.
They say Ron Russell and they say Jimmy Starr. They say Jimmy who?
And I think, yeah, and I think the fact though that you guys are so like nice. I mean, with all the success and all the wonderful things you've accomplished, you guys are just like regular, regular people. I know, well, people like us too. But I'm saying,
what are we going to be snobbish?
when I put it up on social media though, like all the people talk about it, and people are asking, "Is Krista going to be on?" I'm like, "Yeah, Krista's going to be on." I mean, people really
She's a
like know you
sweetheart.
guys.
Well, how could you not want to be in her company?
I know she's like a celebrity in her own right.
She is a celebrity. She is a celebrity.
I love it.
It's so great.
She's more of a celebrity than he is because she puts up with him.
Wait, say that again, Joey.
Right, Krista?
It's nice to be together and share ideas because we got a lot of stuff swirling together conversation wise. So it makes for a fun part, you know.
Would you ever put her in one of your videos?
Oh well, yeah. I haven't done it. I haven't done any videos. In a
Krista,
long
the
time.
next time he does a video, get in it.
Yeah, she should be in it. Yeah,
I'm serious. No,
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. I mean it for real.
free.
No, for real. He said free.
Yeah,
Not
free.
I love
Of
it.
course for free.
So what do you got? So like, what do you got coming up soon?
You know what? She'll work for you. You could take it out and trade later.
Oh yeah, well, this is true.
They're Italian, you stinker.
Mind that,
Who knows me say in Italian? Woo-hoo.
What do you have coming up, Joey? Tell us some of the stuff you got coming up.
Well, we got a singer, Jeff Tate from the band Queensryche. His wife Susan, both have a thing out in it's a retreat we're going to be doing in Wyoming, Montana. Sorry. Yeah, it's a 8 days. You know, horseback riding. It's like 20 people buy in, and then we hang together and do all kinds of stuff. Go all over.
20. It's 20 fans, and they get to spend all day with you. So we have breakfast, lunch, and dinner with them. We do all the events together. We'll do like campfires, sit around, play guitar, sing some songs. So those 20 fans get almost all day access to.
And how much does that cost?
It's $2,500 per person, expenses except for flights included. So it's $45 for 2 people if you book
And
together.
you're going to have a great time.
Yeah.
Every penny well spent.
Yeah, they'll never forget that.
They'll never
Have you ever
forget
been
it.
like an instructor at like rock camp? What do you call it? I don't know what you call it, where they have like those camp rock things, you know, where
Yeah, but I would enjoy that because I get along and I like to help people and all that. It would be fun.
You know what? The next time you're in our company, I'm going to charge you $2,500 a head.
Okay.
Well worth the money.
yes, it'll be well worth it, all the way like around. Which I should.
Wait a minute, Chris. The question for everybody they want to know: do you cook Italian?
She can.
Me or Joey?
You, not Joey. Joey, I know can.
My father's sister back in Kansas City married into the Italian side of the world in Kansas City. So my aunt, amazing food she would cook. Cheesecake was the best. So I do. I was a manager at Williams-Sonoma for almost 15 years.
Oh, he loves Williams-Sonoma.
Oh, so yeah, we have another thing we can talk about. And yes,
I've got a lot of stuff. When I lived in Manhattan, you know, that was the store to go to if you needed a pot, a spoon, a dish. And I would go in there for hours and just look at everything. So beautiful. The colors and the choices.
He liked the $50,000 stoves.
Oh, I loved it. that blue enamel stove. Did you ever see that blue enamel stove? $50,000 for a stove.
Yeah, I told him.
I thought, holy shit.
I was like,
if it doesn't blow me, I don't want it. I mean, $50,000 for a stove.
Sitting on it. How's that?
You got to be out of your mind to spend $50,000 for a stove. Really, it's got to blow smoke in my ear and kiss me a lot.
But the color of the enamel of that blue, it
was a gorgeous stove. $50,000.
He loved it. We would go there all the time, and he would show that. I was like, even if I made enough money to afford that stove, I said I wouldn't.
What
buy
about
that
me?
stove.
I wouldn't afford. I mean, I make money too, but I wouldn't spend it.
He doesn't look at price tags well. We were at this other store, and he saw this chandelier, and he looked at it, and he came and brought me back. It was in Pennsylvania.
It was a dining room chandelier.
It was a beautiful dining room chandelier.
Italy.
He said, "What do you think? This chandelier is $1,000. Should we spend $1,000 on this chandelier?" I'm looking at it. I'm like, Ron, this chandelier is $10,000, not $1,000. And no, we're not buying a $10,000 chandelier right now.
It was all leaves twisted around vines with little crystals. It was made in Italy. It was a magnificent chandelier. But I thought it was $1,000, which was a lot.
He doesnn't like to take his glasses, so he doesn't take them. So we go to a restaurant, and I have to give him my glasses because I leave mine on my head because I can't read without them.
Why? I don't carry a cell phone, my wallet, or glasses. If I lose it. So.
I can't live without my glasses. I can't read without them, so I have to have mine.
Yeah, I have to have them on too. Do you have to wear glasses, Joey, or you don't need them?
Yeah, when I go out myself, I do 4 hours by myself with all kinds of contemporary classic rock stuff, and I'm constantly have to read the screens that I'm working with back to back, kind of DJing at the same time, singing. So I need the glasses. So I have to wear glasses the whole time.
Oh, I like that.
Were you ever a fan of Frank Sinatra?
Oh yeah, big time. Yeah, in fact, I covered Sinatra, but we did it we roughed it up a little bit.
Which song?
"Strangers in the Night."
Really? I'd like to hear.
Oh, is that on YouTube?
Yeah, probably.
Oh, that I want to hear.
We'll look it up.
Your rendition. I'm interested in hearing.
Yeah, I would have liked to have done it contemporary, like the song, but they wanted it roughed up.
Rocked up.
How could you rock it up? That's really got a lot of work you got to put in that one.
Yeah, it came out nice, It really did.
It's such a smooth. We got to go. He said.
So hold on, you guys. This is Krista.
This
is Krista and Joey Belladonna. Follow Instagram. It's Joey Belladonna official. The website is joeybella.com. Krista, are you on Instagram? Do you have your own?
I'm starting to get it back up again.
Okay, so what is it? When you do it, what's it going to be?
Krista Belladonna.
There you go. So you guys follow Krista Belladonna. Check out all the Anthrax music. Definitely support Beyond Frontiers because I think it's the best, journey. I would think it was Journey practically.
How far are you from Hollywood?
Hollywood, California,
100 miles.
100 miles.
Oh, okay, because we're gonna probably. We got some dates coming up. We haven't announced them yet. Probably do 3 at the end of August.
Oh, well, let me know. We'll come. We'll drive into Hollywood.
Or if you want to come out to Palm Springs to swim, you can swim at our club, and I'll make a dinner for us, and we can hang out.
We're coming nearby you. I don't know where yet because I don't have a map and where these shows are going to be.
You let us know. Let us know. In the meantime, we got to go. Everybody, Joey and Krista Belladonna, thank you.
Good show.
You guys love you guys. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. All right, everybody in the chat room, thanks so much for tuning in. We had a great time. And we'll see you guys next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thanks a lot.
Can turn out to be so wrong. Yeah, we in the mix. It's another episode. Here we go. The Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell. Interviewing the hottest, newest, and truest of today's celebrities. Make sure to subscribe so you can get notified weekly. Jimmy Star, he's the king of cool. Ron Russell, he's a gorgeous dude. Chat room is live and you would be a fool not to vibe with us at the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell. Come watch it live on W4CY Radio. Miss some past episodes? Download on iTunes. The Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell. It's the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell.